Today's world can be a difficult place to live in if technology really isn't your thing. That's because there's something called a digital divide. Some of you may be thinking to yourself, what is a digital divide? The digital divide is the difference between people who have access to technology and people who do not. There are different levels of the digital divide, and there are different ways to bridge the digital divide. One of the levels I'm going to be talking to you about is the economical divide. There is ways that you can use the economy and infrastructure that can affect the digital divide. The way that the economy will affect you is based on rich and poor, and infrastructure can affect based on rural and urban areas. So people who have higher salaries, they can buy a lot more high-tech equipment, and people with lower salaries, they can't really afford stuff like computers and smartphones and all sorts of those high-tech equipment. So it's harder for them to get internet access and to bridge that digital divide. For example, studies from the report Digital Differences said that only 62% in households with a salary under $30,000 have access to the internet. Okay, so now we're going to go into infrastructure, which is urban and rural areas. Now, urban areas, they have more ways to get high-speed internet. They can have a lot of different varieties to use. Okay. However, rural areas, they don't really get that chance because the government can't really afford to spread that much high-speed internet to areas, that has so few people that they can afford. So there's like a fiber optics cable that can use high-speed internet, and it can cost up to $50,000 a mile. It really wouldn't make sense to spend that much on so few people, that they would say. Okay, so it makes it harder to have such a bridge between the digital divide and the economy. Okay, now we're going to go into the usability with the divide. Okay. Usability, it can differ between literacy, ethnicity, age, and many more. Okay. Digital literacy, it's a key component of the digital divide. So it's basically skills that you can have with the internet. Okay. There are people that can use the internet for reasons like jobs, they could use it for work, for college, they could use it for all sorts of reasons. And there are some people that just use it to just game, entertainment purposes, stuff like that, okay? There are also seniors that are slower with the internet than other people. Okay. Jacob Nielsen finds that seniors 65 and older are 43% slower at using websites other than people aged 23 through 55. All right, so that could be a big difference with usability. Okay. Now I'm going to be going into bridging the digital divide. Okay. There are different ways that people are using to bridge the digital divide, such as recycling computers, phones, other technology to give out to poorer economies so they can have the necessity of internet or technology. Okay. Also, there is a source that I have. CBS News reporter Tony Dockapil stated that the FCC has committed $2 billion in subsidies over the next decade to help telecommunication companies bridge the gap. Okay, so they're putting billions of dollars out so they could spread technology to these more rural, poorer areas. Okay. So also we're going to talk about bridging the usability divide. There are people in the usability divide, all they do is just game and stuff like that. Well, to bridge the divide, there are people that have apps that have the tendencies of a game, but they have them for learning purposes as well. For example, there's an app called Khan Academy. You can use Khan Academy to pretty much, it can help you with anything that you need with college material, K through 12 material, stuff like that. And there's also an app called Duolingo, and it's even got the purposes of a game. It's got the feel for a game and everything, but you can use it for learning purposes. Okay, there's also an app called abcmouse.com. It's for kids that are under kindergarten trying to go through, who are about to start their elementary school pathway, okay? ABC Mouse, it gets them prepared and everything like that, okay? So in closing, the digital divide, it's still a problem that exists today. As technology becomes more complex, there are people that are still trying to find ways to bridge the usability economy, and that will conclude my speech for today. Thank you all for listening.
That was 5.5 minutes.